so that first round was 80 sanding, and then we move up to 180, and we do it again. So we hit them twice. Technically, I like to do 80, 120, 180. I'm out of 120, so I'm going to do 180, then I'll prime. Alright, so we're hitting it with the PBE filler primer, fills deep scratches. Alright, so we did 180, and now we're going to do 180 again. Alright, so we hit it with the second round of 180 after 80, 180, prime, 180. And now we need to get rid of these lines right here. So we're going to go ahead and use the Alex Flex. Alright, so grab a bit. You're literally rubbing it in because it's not deep. And this prevents it from cracking, flaking, or peeling. Everything that we're going to get the second sand of third sand of the second sand of 180, the third sand overall of this one. Alright, so the Alex Flex, we leave that sit for 1 hour at the least. Alright, so we got the Alex Flex down again. Really, really thin layers. It fills it up, and the filler primer does the work. While the one with the Alex Flex sits, we're going to go ahead and get some filler primer again on the one that we just sanded. Remember, it was 80 sand, 180 sand, filler primer, 180 sand, and now we're doing filler primer again. Alright, so we got our give or take third sand, second session, because it's 80 sand, 180 sand, filler primer, 180 sand, and then filler primer, and it's looking really good. But we'll end up doing one more session of 180 sanding, filler primer, and then we'll do the 2K primer after we sand down this again. Alright, and we're going to hit it with another 180 on this. Alright, so after 3 sandings, 2 sessions, we're going to hit it with 180 again. Alright, so sanded at 80, 180, filler primer, 180, filler primer, 180. Now we're going to use this. This step varies on the quality of your print. If it's still not good enough, then you're going to have to keep sanding and filler primer before you use the 2K. Once the 2K primers is on, this is how you're going to look. The first layer is decent. I would say a mid, not too thick. You're going to do 2 layers basically per. After this, then we'll jump it and put on the Aegis on it. Alright, and now we're going to sand the Alex Flex that was on here. We're sanding at 180, and then we're going to hit it with the regular filler primer, and then possibly the 2K after. Alright, so we already sanded off the Alex Flex. Again, filler primer Seymour. Gonna do a coat of that. Alright, so we have some lines, but that's not bad. It's not really deep. So we're basically gonna sand this off whenever it dries, and then we're gonna hit it with the 2K, which should fill 99% of that. and then the Ages finishes it off after that. Right, so we hit it with the 180 again. I don't go over 180. I don't really need to. We hit it with the 180 again. Gonna hit it with the 2K epoxy primer now. Alright, second coating of the 2K primer. Alright, so after that layer of filler primer and stuff, we're going to sand it. And now we're going to add the 2K. Alright, we're doing the second coating of the 2K epoxy primer from Car Rep. We have the 2K primer on after all the sanding. So now we're going to go ahead and put the Ages on, the Tech Ages right here. Matte. You need the matte version. It's basically going to kind of look like milk or glue. And we're brushing it on. I like to go, you know, with the layer lines. Alright, so now we're basically letting it dry. After we have it all wiped on. Textured parts are always the worst, man. You gotta make sure it doesn't cake up in here. Once it dries, then we'll move on to the plasti dip stage. Alright, so we got the Ages on. It's basically about dried up. So now we are going to get the plasti dip 2, minimum 3, kind of preferred. Alright, so I put down the second coat of plasti dip a bit ago. So we're gonna do, I use the aluminum, nice and shiny, looks like metal. Seymour's always. Do about 1-2 coats of this, and then we move to the other colors. We have the silver on, toothpaste. I like the green kind. It really helps kind of pull it up. The other ones, this is like an actual fucking gel. The other stuff's basically a, I don't know, it's like a foam. I don't like the white stuff. So alright, so when you get it on, you should probably have something basically kind of like this. And just layer it on however you see fit. I'm looking at my stuff and I'm trying to match the armor a little bit, but also kind of trying to do my own thing. So. Alright, so we got the silver one. Now we're gonna go ahead and hit it with a gray, and then we'll do toothpaste, dark gray, toothpaste, black, toothpaste, orange, and then basically that's it. A lot of layering. Luckily, it's like 30 minutes to an hour in between. I'll probably be able to get all the layering done, but can't wipe anything off until tomorrow. Alright, so now we're adding the toothpaste, spotting around where the metal would be, so just to kind of make it look like you have some gray showing before you get to the metal stage. Layering, basically. So, not a lot. Do a little bit, kind of just all around it. So this is wild. It's peeling right there, or it's melting right there because it's so fucking hot out. All right, so right here, right here. All right, now we're doing the dark gray, like I said. Alright, so I already got the so I got the toothpaste on the dark gray sections that I want to stay dark gray, and now we're doing the black. Alright, now we're putting the JL orange on. We have the piece that we want taped off. Toothpaste is on. So yeah, JL, we're putting the orange on now over it. So take our piece that we literally finished. It's the next day, everything's cured, and we're gonna go ahead and take a sponge and wipe off the toothpaste. I like to do hot water, it helps. Oh. Alright, so after you have it all washed, this is something that it should look like, and you'd be done if you're not taking a gloss to a matte or a matte to a gloss. If you need to take a gloss to a matte, like I need the orange to go from a gloss to a matte, I'm going to brush on some Aegis matte and do a little bit more weathering, which I'll also show you on that. Alright, so now I want to avoid the spots, so I'm going to brush the Aegis matte on like before on all the orange, but I want to try and avoid all the aluminum parts. So, definitely going to be a little bit more dabbing and stuff and careful brushing instead of just like throwing it all over. Alright, and we got the matte on here. You see how it's lack there of a shine, so it's a little difficult to try and go around, but that is the goal, to get it to have no shine at the moment. So. Alright, our piece is now not shiny anymore, so now we need to, weather it some more. So we're using the Dirty Down Aging Spray Soap Black from Goblin's Hut. Just a little bit. I put on the black more. So, yeah. There you go. And that gets that one. And then alrighty, after redoing the thighs, I have the belt on right here. So after redoing the thighs and getting it all situated in the holster, I'm having technically beginning to go kind of like right here. Yeah. Tighten that one a bit. Perfect. Yeah. Sweet. Alright. Yeah. A lot better. Much better. And I'll cut some pieces right here. But, yeah.